Welcome to my channel, C.S. Lewis Spirit. In today's video, we uncover one of the darkest and most mysterious stories buried beneath the sands of time, the curse of the dead Pharaoh. When demons possessed the king of Egypt. They say Egypt was once the land of gods and miracles, but what if I told you that its greatest king may not have been chosen by the gods at all, but by something far darker, something ancient, restless, and hungry? Tonight, we travel back thousands of years, to an age when the Nile ran red beneath the setting sun, and whispers of the underworld haunted the royal palace. Our story begins in the heart of ancient Thebes, a city alive with gold, power, and secrets. Pharaoh Achamaré, a ruler beloved by his people, feared by his enemies, believed his destiny was written among the stars. But as he sought immortality, he turned not to the gods of light, but to the hidden rituals of the dead. He was told that deep beneath the pyramids, sealed behind forbidden stone doors, lay a chamber that granted eternal life, but only to those who dared to invite the spirits beyond the veil. One night, under the blood moon, Pharaoh entered the chamber alone. The priests warned him, "Once the dead awaken, they never sleep again." But pride is the sharpest blade, and Achamaré's pride cut deep. He whispered the ancient incantations, his voice trembling, his torch flickering. The walls began to tremble, and from the shadows, something answered back. From that night on, Egypt changed. The sky grew darker, the winds carried strange voices, and those who served the pharaoh swore they saw his eyes glow like burning coals. The sacred cats hissed and fled his presence. Even the priests refused to speak his name. Some said he had gained the power of the gods. Others believed he had made a pact with demons buried beneath the sands long before mankind ever built pyramids. The once golden kingdom became haunted. Crops withered, temples crumbled, and the Nile, the heart of Egypt, began to dry. Every night, screams echoed through the palace halls, and the pharaoh would sit upon his throne, murmuring to shadows that no one else could see. He spoke of voices, ancient kings, bound in darkness, offering him dominion over life and death. But with power came madness, and soon those who dared to defy him vanished. Some believed he sacrificed them to maintain his immortality. Others whispered that the pharaoh was no longer human at all, that his body was merely a vessel, a shell possessed by something from another realm. When the high priest finally led a rebellion, they sealed the pharaoh inside his own tomb, along with the scrolls of the forbidden ritual, hoping to end the curse forever. But centuries later, when explorers uncovered that same tomb, strange things began to happen again. Lights flickered, sandstorms rose from nowhere, and one of the archaeologists wrote in his final journal entry, "We did not open the tomb. It opened itself." What if the pharaoh never truly died? What if his spirit, or the demon within him, still roams, waiting for the next soul to awaken it? Stay with me till the end, because what happens next will challenge everything you believe about curses, possession, and the afterlife. This is the curse of the dead pharaoh, when demons possessed the king of Egypt. And the most chilling part? The curse might already be awake. The deeper we go into the story, the more it feels like Egypt itself is trying to whisper a warning. After the pharaoh's tomb was opened, strange patterns began to repeat. The same signs that once appeared before the fall of Achamaré's kingdom. Machines stopped working near the site, the desert winds carried faint voices at night, and even the most skeptical archaeologists admitted that something about the air felt alive. Dr. Layla Hassan, the lead researcher, believed it was just superstition, until her dreams started showing her visions of a golden mask staring back from the shadows. Each night, the voice in her dream grew clearer, calling her by name, as if the spirit of the pharaoh had found her across centuries. Meanwhile, in Cairo, a historian named Omar discovered fragments of an ancient scroll, one that warned of the king who walks between worlds. The scroll described a spirit trapped inside a vessel of royal blood, a being that could only rise again when a descendant touched the mark of the curse. When Omar traced the lineage, he realized something terrifying. Dr. Layla's family came directly from the royal line of Akamare. She wasn't just uncovering history, she was part of it. Back at the excavation site, the tension grew. Workers began leaving one by one, claiming they heard chanting coming from the sealed chambers. Layla refused to stop. She wanted the truth, but the closer she got, the more the desert seemed to turn against her. The sandstorms grew violent, and statues that had stood still for centuries seemed to shift positions overnight. Something beneath the ground was waking up, and it wasn't just a legend anymore. The real question was, who or what had been waiting for her to arrive the night before the final excavation? The air around the site grew unnaturally still. Even the desert animals had vanished. Layla stood at the edge of the newly uncovered chamber, her lantern trembling in her hand as she stared into the darkness below. The carvings on the walls seemed to shift under the flickering light, showing figures of men kneeling before a towering shadow crowned in gold, the same symbol she had seen in her dreams. Omar arrived breathless, clutching the ancient scroll. His face was pale. "Layla, you can't go in there," he said. The texts warn that once the name of the pharaoh is spoken inside his tomb, the veil between worlds breaks. But it was too late. Layla's curiosity had already crossed that line. As she stepped inside, the chamber walls hummed with a low, echoing vibration. The torches flickered, casting moving shapes that didn't belong to them. The scent of old incense filled the air, and a cold breeze swept through, though the air outside was still. Layla raised her light, revealing a massive sarcophagus in the center, sealed with ancient wax and gold markings. Her heart pounded. For a moment, she swore she saw her reflection on the lid. Only it wasn't her face. It was someone else's, someone wearing a crown. Omar shouted her name, but his voice was swallowed by the deep rumble rising from the floor. Cracks spread across the chamber walls, dust falling like rain. The sound grew into a heartbeat, slow and heavy, pulsing through the ground. Layla stumbled back, clutching the scroll. The markings began to glow faintly, and somewhere within the tomb, a whisper rose. The same whisper from her dreams, now real, calling her closer. The ancient curse was stirring again, and it had finally found its voice.